All right, all right. Let's get this started. Thank you all very much for being here. I'm here. My name is Frido. I'm at the front, and first of all, I'm gonna ask you guys to move to this side and grab a seat or lean against the wall, because of course the idea for today is that we're gonna share some stuff that's happening, stuff that we're all doing. And for that, yeah, we're gonna use the screen. So that's why I'm asking you to move over to this side. Like I said, my name is Frido. I work for RDM Next, and what we try to do is to make technology accessible to people and to get companies started with innovation. So we do a lot of workshops, we do a lot of creative sessions, and we mostly do this here in the loft. So that's where we are right now. And today we have 5 talks by 5 different companies who are gonna tell what they're doing here and what new things they're trying to start. And all right. One thing that I should mention, over here on this side you see a bunch of wires and cables and all the stuff like that, and there's a reason for that. That's because like with RDM Next we do a lot of workshops and stuff like that, but like recently we've done less workshops like in like physically together. So what we try to do is to do more things online, and that's why we're kind of designing this setup with different cameras and different webcams to get people also on the other side of the world involved with what we do. So this is kind of like the first trial setup for this. Would you like to?
If you are going to present, please stay here and don't move too much around, because we have a fixed camera over there, and we have your presentation nicely as a picture-in-picture next to you. So please stand here. This is your screen for people here, but also here will be the screen on the live stream. So talk in the microphone, and also afterwards, if there are questions, please repeat the question, so people who are watching online can also follow the question.
Is it going to be recorded? Yeah. So you're like, people have the chance to look back at how they did today. Oh, you can learn something today. How nice is that? Okay. Since we have, let's see, we have 40 minutes until it's 1 o'clock. At 1 o'clock, I really want to finish it, so I'm going to be your timekeeper for today. And I'm very strict with that, so just so you know. And the first one to welcome to the floor is Niels. Niels works for Dent. I'm going to give you the mic, and I'm going to let you introduce yourself.
Thank you, Frido. Hello, everybody. My name is Niels Tamhuis, and 4 years ago I founded a company called Dent. And at Dent, our sole purpose is to help companies apply IoT. I'm going to give you a short introduction, if this clicker helps me to get through. Clicker. The laser works. We have a minor technical error. Please bear with us. Ah, yes, it works. So is it going to be a next slide thing? No? Okay. Yeah. No. Wait. No. Previous slide. I want, outside of this amazing start of this presentation, I want you guys to remember one thing about my story today. That if you think about Dent, think about optimization and operations. This is what our main purpose is. We're a team of designers and developers, and we build IoT innovations that help our customers' operations to become optimized. To give you an idea about this, I have three examples. The first example is the context of a retail store where you would go to get your refreshments. One more technical question about the clicker. It doesn't work? Yeah, thank you. So the context here is the retail store, and we developed a smart shelf. So our customer was a beer brewer, And one of the issues is in the store is that there's an out of stock occurring. That means the product is not on stock on shelf. So when you go to the store as a customer, you want to purchase a six-pack or a crate of beer, and it's not there. Apparently, 40 during summertime, 40% of the total store opening time, this happens at popular products. With the solution we created, we provide real-time insight into the stocking and the available products on shelf, helping to prevent out-of-stock situations. A second example of a solution we developed is together with Shell, and this is working really great. A second solution we developed is together with Shell, and it's about a business-to-business fuel delivery service. What we did here is that we embedded the entire operations with sensors, so digitally they are able to fully follow the delivery service of the different fuels that they're delivering to their customers, helping them to, on the one hand, log everything that has ever happened in their delivery service, and also prevent unnecessary downtime because of asset fallout or etc. So the third case I would like to show you is a product that we recently deployed. One of the things that I think the goal for this presentation in Corona times is what do we need at this moment? We've all been working from home, and now we're back in the office, and we're trying to focus on the near future about how we're going to recover from Corona. Well, we developed a product that makes it very easy for us to help our customers apply IoT because we developed a multi-sensor. Companies typically have assets around outdoors, and they want to be able to follow them and track them. So to be able to map your operations on a map like this is something a lot of our customers are looking for. On the next slide, I can show you the product that we launched. It's called the Miggy, and if the slide would work, it works. It's loading. Thank you. It's a very heavy slide. So this product, it's a multi-sensor device. It works with Bluetooth. It has location tracking abilities. It has several sensors inside that can track motion, temperature, humidity, etc. So this is our base solution that we can throw at any IoT challenge our customers would give us, where we can very quickly start measuring things about an asset, an operation, a product, and to gain digital insights about the product's functioning. If you can go to the next slide, I can show you a couple of the workings of the sensors. This is, I think you have to either click it again or click the link to start the video. So it's a small wireless battery-powered device. The retail price is around $50, and it is able to pick up anything regarding movement. So if you look at this, this is a simple accelerometer plot, but it's super useful for many of our customers that just have an asset and want to be able to track where the asset is, whether it's been moving, yes or no, if it's in the right position, etc. If you go to the next slide, I can show you, so this is everything about vibration and orientation. The next slide shows you a small demo about a small compass functionality that you're not only able to detect the vibration, but also in which direction an asset is headed. So if you have any outdoor vehicle or heavy asset industry items, with a combination of sensors, we will be able to pick up some logic that you can implement in a device that will exactly tell you in which orientation your asset is placed, and whether or not that's up to you to decide if that should or shouldn't be the case. And then we can send out alerts and notify the right people to act upon it. If you go to the next slide, there's another demo of a very nice view of a building, which I did not design, but I do like it. And I guess it's the background. In another, yeah, thank you, yes. So the Miggy we can use for any solution, for any outdoor asset problem you want to track or keep watch at. The Miggy would be your starting point. So I think you can pass on to the next slide. So if you're on the lookout for a partner that can help you optimize your business, please reach out to me after this call. I have a Miggy with me here, so I can give you a live demo without a bulky presentation. So if you can go on to the next slide, thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Niels. Can you stay with me for a bit? Thank you for doing the first presentation. Of course, with some technical difficulties. Yeah, that's like a thing we try to do. We try stuff, and sometimes it can go smoother. But thank you for the kickoff. I kind of want to ask you, what did you use the Miggy for yourself?
That's a good question. I was tracking it in my car. Yes.
Your car. Okay. All right.
The car I rent often. I was tracking it.
Okay. Cool.
I was trying to prepare a sales demo to the car rental company to show that I was able to track their car during use. So when I was on my last rent, I had it in my car, and then I made a screenshot, and I'm about to send it to them as a pitch that they might be interested in using this product on their vehicles. Okay,
cool. How many do you want to make?
First batch will be around 5,000, and next year we're planning on production series of 50 to 100,000 units.
All right, cool. Any other questions?
Are you still using the LoRa network infrastructure for communication?
Thanks for your question. Yes, we do. We combine both Bluetooth Low Energy and LoRa. So with LoRa, we have outside localization services up to 30 to 50 meters accuracy. And indoor with BLE, we can also use triangulation when there's gateways around. And we also have a proximity service, which can be helpful for Corona to keep your distance. So if you would wear a Miggy around your neck and I would wear a Miggy around my neck, both our devices would tell us when we get too close.
Nice. All right, make sure to check the demo. Another question.
Yeah, so we are currently working on a case to implement it for a factory in the United States, where there's a very strict and mandatory rules of colleagues not being able to work too closely together. And yeah, for that, so it's not commercially available on the website that you can order your own as a consumer, but business to business, yes.
All right. Niels, thank you very much. I'm going to give the floor to Gerard. Yeah, there he is. Gerard, you work for Innocent, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So we are here with a team of Innocent. They are sitting there. And for the people that don't know Innocent, you will find our products there on the table. So if you like to taste a smoothie or a juice, the best smoothies and the best juices in the world, then you can try one there. So we're here with a team. We are sitting next door in the beautiful other side of the loft, and it's my pleasure to tell you something about the project we are running at the moment. And basically, if we move on to the next page, we are. But before I go into that, before I jump into that, let me start with giving you some background. Because our company started in 1999, and it was a few young people that started selling smoothies at the musical festival. And since then, the business have been growing and growing and growing. And at a certain till this moment, all the products are made somewhere at partners, so at co-packers. So the blending and the filling is done at partners. And at a certain stage, the idea was we should be, to become good all round, we have to start making our juices ourselves. So in 2018, it was decided to start to build our own factory. And you will find it on the next page. What we are trying to achieve here is that we are going to make this beautiful building, which is at the Maasvlakte, so not really far from here. Yeah, so that's what we are trying to achieve here. If we move on to the next page. Because with the thing I think we are trying to realize something really special here. It's not just a normal factory, or I believe it's not just a normal factory. I've been working in a lot of these kind of factories in my previous career or my previous jobs, but I guess we are trying to build something special here. And obviously there are some pillars that, if you like to call them, that are really important to us. One of the things is obviously we can design a factory really to help us making the right, to have the right process in place to make our beautiful products. But even because of the fact that we are going to produce ourselves, we will also be able to learn much more about our own products and processes, and being able to make them even nicer than they are at the moment. So that's one of the things. So that's what we call an important thing of this factory is, an important pillar is that we want to make good products so that our drinkers can enjoy them every day. So that's one of the things. The other thing is that dream work and teamwork. So what we are trying to achieve here is not a normal working environment that you typically find in a factory environment, but that we are really trying to create a environment where people feel happy and healthy. So that's an important thing as well. So, and how we are going to achieve that is that we are trying to work against the WELL standard, and the WELL standard is a standard for well-being. So that's what we are trying to achieve here as well. So for us, the goal of this new factory is that people go home healthy and happy every day. So another big important thing for us. Another thing really important for us is that we, which is generally believed within Innocent, but also for the blender, is that we want to leave the things better than we find them, which basically refers to sustainability, to the environment. So that's what we try to achieve here. So one of the big reasons, or one of the main reasons to start building a factory at the Maasvlakte is because of the logistics. The products come over the sea to Rotterdam, and by building a factory there, we can directly produce them or process them and make our products. So that's one of the main reasons to start building a factory in Rotterdam, which might not be the most logic thing if you look at it from, there is quite a lot of petrochemical industry as well, but the logistic is really good there. Next to that, we are building a carbon neutral factory. So we are trying to use as energy as a minimum as possible. But also we are implementing a lot of solar panels. We are trying to use wind energy as well, so that we reach a carbon neutral factory. And that's, I think you will find it back in the B Corporation. So B Corporation, I'm not sure if that's really clear for everybody, but it's a community, if you like, of global leaders that believe that you can use business as an to act as a force for good. And that force for good can be found in sustainability, it can be found in people feeling nice, employees feeling nice, but also the society and so on. So that's what the B Corporation, so I guess the B Corporation is the umbrella for the things that I just explained, what we try to achieve with this new factory. Yes, if we go to the next slide. We already started building the factory. So if we go to the next page, I believe there is a picture of a few months ago already. So it's not even a really up-to-date photo, because if you would make the same photo right now, you will find that all the concrete has already been poured and that we are erecting the steel at the moment. So we will go up in the air right now, and it will go really fast from now on. And somewhere in the coming months, the building should already be ready so that we can start implementing the machines and the equipment. For everybody that wants to know where it is exactly, I believe this is what we call the Kop van de Beer. Not sure whether that helps a lot, but it's at the Maasvlakte. If we go to the next page, Yeah, so one of the things, and that's one of the things it's important for us to mention as well. I believe a year ago from now, there were only 3 people working at what we call the blender, and right now we are already with more than 30 people, but we still need to recruit a lot of people to get ready for production in a year from now. So the startup date is planned for the 30th of August next year. And then obviously we need a lot more people to be able to do that. So if we go to the next page, you will find all the faces here that are currently already working, but we still have to fill a lot of people, which are basically the production team leaders, quality technicians, process operators, and maintenance technicians. So if you, it would be really helpful if you can spread the word so that if people are interested, then they can obviously apply for a job at Innocent. And I guess that was what I would like, what I was trying to explain. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's see. First of all, I love the name, the blender. It would be cool if you could see it like on the outside. That it's like really a blender. Do any of you guys have a question for Gerard? One second.
Are you already in contact with University of Applied Science next door for your new employees? Or maybe technical college next door?
I think I had to repeat it. The question was, did we already reach out to the technical school or other? And I think we are already reaching out a lot to all kinds of education schools, and but also the technical school here. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay, right. Thanks.
Maybe one last, like, is there something else you would like from the people in this building? Like, drink beers on Friday, stuff like this? Like,
I'm not sure if your question is really related to the project we are running or in general, because the Friday beers are always good. Although we are not working from the office on Friday, so that will be there will not be a lot of innocent people at the Friday afternoon spree. I'm not sure. I guess we are always interested in new techniques when it comes to things like energy saving, like sustainability, like these kind of things. So, and I guess although I'm not fully sure what we are doing in this building altogether, but I guess there's quite a lot of knowledge about these kind of things as well. So I think that's one of the things we would be interested in. For sure.
Thank you very much. Next up is Algirdas, yes, from Captain AI.
Hello, so I'm Algirdas from Captain AI. I'm working here as a software developer, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what Captain AI does, and what kind of things we currently have, and what we will have in the future. Starting with the next slide. Right, so as the name would suggest, I guess most of you realize what the whole point is. It's to make shipping autonomous. Well, in the open ocean, shipping is sort of already, but inland is not a reality at the moment. And our goal is to make it happen. We want the ships barges and tugboats and water taxis and water buses and everything that you see in the port of Rotterdam going around autonomously, so there wouldn't be a need for a crew or anything else performing such things. And we already have several boats doing so to a certain extent. We have a tugboat, the Borkum, which actually even yesterday was sailing autonomously across the port. We have the RPA from the Port Authority, and the water taxi, one of those which you can probably even board, the water taxi 14. There's a screen on it, maybe it's off usually, but it's one that can go autonomously if needed. And just yesterday we did a whole video shooting with drones and everything across the port, so which you can see in the next slide, hopefully. No, there's an error. Anyway, Yeah, we were going around with all of the boats that we have, that we use, we don't have them, and making all the cool videos. Well, that's not much else to say about it, but just imagine. But to get to all this full autonomy, there are many other things that we can do. And one of those is having a way to control the fleet. So not only could we have the captain on the boat set the destination to where to go and the ship just goes there? What if we had a whole fleet control, similar to what we have here, which can give commands to the ships going around, and we don't even need any crew to begin the destination, the journey. So this is one of our side projects as well. And if you go to the next slide, we already have a prototype made for the water taxi. So this is sort of a fleet viewer where we show the locations of all the water taxis and the routes that they're taking. As you can see there, one of them is going somewhere. And it also has the destination time and all these other things. And yeah, later on will be improved for other purposes, not just the water taxi. Next. Another thing, a building block for autonomous ships, is to have a route planner. Here's a screenshot from Google Maps I made today. It's quite simple for, like we can imagine, you just entered your destination and it shows how to get there with the car. That is not a possibility right now with boats. There's nothing really out there that would find you at a accurate way for a boat to get from point A to point B. There are some solutions. If you go to the next slide, you can see this is one solution that is available right now. But as you can see, the route that it gives is just in the middle. Like, it's not how boats are supposed to be going in the port. You should stay on the right side and things like that. Or some of the other solutions, like in the next slide, where I don't even know what they're doing here. Like, it just goes on land and yeah, pretty terrible. So we have our own route planner in the next slide, where we use historical data of all the ships that have been sailing all around here to generate the route that is most efficient and most popular for a ship to take. And as you can see, taking this route, it goes on the right side on the correct side of the river. And we also have other things here that shows the speed that the boat should be taking, or what is the tide direction, the current direction of the river at any point in the route. Yeah, and right now this only works in the port of Rotterdam, but it's our current goal to scale it globally and have it available all around the world for autonomous and non-autonomous ships. And that is all. Thank you. Sorry, could you repeat the last part? The route planner here, the one you saw here, oh, sorry, I should repeat the question? Yeah, the question was that how do we make sure the route is efficient if there's lots of traffic in the river, right? Yeah, so the one you see here, it does not do that. It only looks at general historical data and would just shows the path itself. However, the autonomous ships we have, and later this would have it as well, it takes current ship positions into consideration. It can look at the time of day or just generally route around busy areas. At the moment, this does not have it, but it will be a feature in the future.
So when is the video done?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it will be done in a few weeks, in a week or two. and you'll be able to see a really cool, epic video with all the boats. These are just the sneak peeks, the shots we had. Like, you'll see it. It will be amazing.
All right, we'll stay posted. Algirdas, thank you very much for your talk. Let me see how much time we have. And after this, I think I'm gonna give the floor to Jason from Arctura, who brought like a lot of boxes and cool stuff to show. Half an hour, like that's fine, right? Like it looks so nice, so yeah, we'll make the time for it.
So I think I have to plug in my laptop because I've got some spinny things in 3D that I need to go through.
Okay.
So we might have a slight tick delay.
Okay, all right.
But the surface I can use for this.
Like that doesn't work. Okay. We'll figure it out. Okay, so 1 minute break, setting up laptop, and then go.
Sure. I can also just brief. I can also do a brief introduction or something.
All right, can I get you guys to the front again? Because we're gonna have a short story by Jason from Arctura. Arctura, you've seen downstairs beneath the floating offices. They do a lot of stuff with these sheets of yeah, what is it?
Polyethylene tetraphthalate, but it's recycled water bottles turned into acoustic material that we process with aluminum, steel, a variety of different materials to do architectural ceilings and installations. All well certified, by the way.
All right. So I'm gonna give the floor to Jason. Maybe you guys can fill it up a bit more in the front so that he has some people to talk to. Otherwise, yeah. All right, Jason.
Okay. Is this on? It is. Okay, so I don't have as beautiful of a presentation as the rest of you, but I do have an interesting story, which is like how we chose to pivot during COVID. So just as a brief introduction, Arctura makes sculptural, architectural, ceiling and wall systems for the built environment. As you know, when COVID happened, there wasn't a lot of interior construction or office work. Office makes up about, I would say, 75% of our turnover. So instead of trying to figure out exactly how to pivot into a different product category, we were optimistic and assumed that things would sort of like go back to normal. But the issue was still like, how do we generate turnover? And what we had going into COVID was essentially 3 different salespeople distributed across Europe. We work with independent agents, so it's basically no cure, no pay, right? So if they don't sell our stuff, they don't make any money, which means these are very difficult people to find. And if you find them, they generally don't want to talk to you. But when they could no longer transact business, all of a sudden they were available for conversations. And so we decided to do 2 things, to invest in business development, setting up our distribution platform, and product development. So in the midst of COVID, when everybody's working from home, we were able to scale our sales organization from 3 to 13 sales agents across Europe, which is kind of impressive. They're not all completely trained yet, but we have them signed up and on board, which is really great. And we did this all through Teams and through Slack and through Zoom. So one way that we were able to kind of train these people remotely were through things like training videos specific to our products. I'll try to make this bigger. So this is a new one. We're gonna get a better narrator and some cool background music, I promise. But this is the first draft. And so just to kind of quickly jump through here, shows some cool visuals, shows how the system installs, et cetera, et cetera. So we could educate our new salespeople quite quickly through just like video animations and things like that. On top of that, we're distributed all across Europe and EMEA, so that means we have significant language barriers. And so when we can actually just show, we can show the product, then it's just a lot easier. So that's one thing that we were able to do during COVID is develop these tools to onboard a sales organization so that when things kind of come back online, they're prepared and they're educated. So we were quite excited to be able to do that. But once we landed these sales agents, and to give you an idea of how this works, I mean, we have one in Belgium, we have one based in the Netherlands, and they're independent organizations that represent a chair company, a lighting company, and then Arctura. And they call in architects and designers, et cetera, et cetera. But what I realized as a naive American is that the sampling and the collateral needed to transact business here is very different. In the US, I can show up with this, and then some CAD files, and I can transact a sale. But in Europe, there's much more of a focus on samples, paper deliverables, like pamphlets, stuff that you would not expect. So during COVID, we actually had the time to focus on developing like a really cool and interesting sampling program that would give our agents throughout Europe the tools that they need to be successful. So instead of just doing like a typical sampling program, we decided that all designers like designer shoes. So we decided to design these shoe boxes with all of our materials inside. So 60% recycled water bottles, highly acoustic, well certified, BREEAM certified, et cetera, et cetera.
Can I be your,
Please, please.
your model?
And actually, this is the coolest one, so why don't you try this one? So then, with our Vapor series, we actually have all of our Vapor panel patterns in this relief map that we made of the Netherlands. So we call this the Underwater series. So instead of just saying like, yeah, we're gonna deliver like cool rectangular samples, we said we're gonna give you a piece of art, and that's gonna kind of reinforce our brand. So that's one aspect of what we did to kind of cater to the European market. This is actually kind of fun too. So this looks like wood, but this is made from recycled water bottles. Yeah, okay, we'll hold it up. But it's made from recycled water bottles, and it's dye transferred printed with water-based ink, so it's still well certified and VOC compliant. So we're doing this in Europe instead of this in North America. So we found that it's really kind of boutiqued our brand and supported us. We also just released a actually printed lookbook, which I've never done before. We've always been all digital. But now we have this, which seems to help our sales agents. So in addition to that, we still have not just the sales agents, but the clients who are all working from home. So instead, actually need you again. You're going to be the client here. In order to address them, we created these home accessories that were branded. So if you push that in all the way,
Without breaking it?
just push it in. It's tough.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's breaking it, guys. So it's a cell phone holder for doing like Zoom calls and Teams meetings, etc. It also has a little like pass-through for your cord, etc. So we actually came up with a series of branded home accessories that we could send to all of our clients, all the architects working from home, etc. We also have a little pen holder that folds at the bottom, etc. This one's a little more complicated.
Okay.
Are you up for it?
I can do it.
Okay, this sits in the middle, so it sits in the little cavity. Okay, so we focus on building up the sales network, and then also developing our digital, physical, and direct marketing collateral. In addition to that, we had some free time on our hands, so we decided to dive headfirst into product development. So one product that we developed, we're gonna have a little bit of a delay here, guys, because this is Rhino. It might not even work. All right. But we developed this product, which is made from recycled aluminum and PET. So this is 60% recycled innocent bottles. And it looks really complicated, right? But what's cool about it is that this complexity is managed with only 2 products. So you can just basically copy, paste, and array these things across the ceiling. It solves all of your acoustic issues, all of your, well, let's say ceiling design issues, but all with just 2 standard modules. Let's hope that these are grouped. Yeah, so you've got the blade and the hex. We've been calling this thing Ninja Blade internally for like the last 6 months, and now I can't not call it that. But it's officially Sound Shatter to fit with the branding of the company. So we released this product. We have a couple of installs coming up, one of which is this weekend. So one of the agents that we onboarded, let's see if I can get to Chrome, is Burek and Burek out of Amsterdam, and they're participating in Glue. And what Glue is basically a decentralized, I would say, convention for the architecture and design community. So if you guys are available and want to check out a showroom, we're available in Eiburg in Amsterdam, and we have a full install of our new products there. And that's going from Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So in turn, like, we just took this downtime as a way to invest internally, develop our sales network, and to give our salespeople the tools that they need to sell our stuff. So, yeah. Thank you.
Questions for Jason?
Yeah, so that's a very complicated, okay. Where do we get our water bottles? So we actually have a mill that purchases recycled water bottles from both North America, Asia, and I think they used to purchase them from Europe. It gets processed into clean PET in Korea, and then we make it into fibers, and the fibers get turned into panels. So to answer the question, the recycler buys, recycled water bottles from all over the world. Yep. Any other questions? The first one's free. Oh. Exactly. Yes. Okay, so are our materials fireproof? That is an excellent question, thank you. So what we do in order to get our BS1 D0 fire rating, which is the standard for ceilings, and our A1 rating, which is the standard for metal ceilings, is we actually just control the supply chain process. So the plastic water bottles that we melt down into a big batch, And then we clean and clean and clean the batch until there's no particulate matter in it. And when you do that enough times, you have less contamination, which means when it burns, the smoke that is produced is like minimized and it's white. And that's essentially what you need in order to get a sealing classification for fire ratings. So the answer is it's BS1D0, which will certify you across the board in Europe for sealings. Anything else? Cool. Thank you.
Jason, thank you very much. All right, we're gonna continue quickly. Ben, can I get you to the front? You don't really have time, but you'll find some time. Benedetto.
Hello, everyone. Hearing? Also this time without presentation? Also this time without presentation, like...
Yeah, like we're like like we're trying out some stuff, and switching laptops and stuff like this is still hard for us, but it's like we're gonna be professionals at this very soon. But maybe good to introduce you a bit further. Like you work for Ramlab, you're downstairs.
I'm Benedetto Di Castri, and I work for Ramlab. I'm a materials engineer. I started in Ramlab 2 years ago, actually 3 years ago, and I remember that I met the guys from Ramlab because I was studying in Delft, and this guy, Konstantinos, came to me and said, hey, do you want to do an internship in Ramlab? And I said, yeah, for sure. And he brought me from Delft in the night with a van, like to the RDM. I was like, okay, is he kidnapping me? Or like, where I am? This place was like so strange for me. But then I entered and I found these guys, Konstantinos, Vincent, Vignesh, Nia, and they were 3D printing the propeller. I said, oh, I'm not gonna leave this place. These guys are crazy. This is fun. So then I started, and I'm working on materials. So I'm working on materials research and printing of new materials, printing of parts. What we do in Ramlab is basically 3D printing of metals, of large scale parts. So we use industrial welding in order to 3D print metal parts. And basically, it consists of a simple welding process that is repeated again and again and again to basically obtain your layer and to obtain your parts. What are the advantages of using this system is that you can, basically, you have freedom in designing your parts. Freedom in designing your parts, and you can use like cheap raw material compared to other AM processes, which usually are powder. But also you have a lot of material savings, because usually in subtractive methods, like for instance machining, you need to take out a lot of material from your parts, so you have a lot of material wastage, but as well there's a lot of cost involved. So with additive manufacturing, you can basically reproduce and manufacture the part as you want. So what we are doing, what changed from the beginning, so when I was doing my internship to these days, is basically that we are trying to control more this process to be able to communicate better with our customer, because people won't understand what are the process parameters, people won't understand what is going wrong. So we are developing the software in order to having control of the process itself, and at the same time trying to be able to control the process besides the monitoring. It's also important in order to do this to build, besides the software, all the procedure parts. So we are trying to applying all the standards to Ramlab in order to be able to comply to standards related to quality. Another thing what else do we do? Like in Ramlab is like, besides the research, so involved with external parties, we also do prototyping, production, and also software development for basically 3D printing. In our case, it's called wire arc additive manufacturing. I had some cool videos to show, maybe, no? Yeah. Yeah, we are actually downstairs, so downstairs you can see our propeller, so the 3D printed propeller, we have the robots, we could also show the robot. Yes, that one is like a small version. The one downstairs is really cool. I also, in my slides, there was an example of one application actually that is really interesting and is representative of why you should use wire arc additive manufacturing. This is titanium alloys. Titanium alloys have many interesting properties. For instance, the strength, they are lightweight, they are biocompatible, they have corrosion resistance. And usually how they manufacture them is by taking a really big block that is forged, is rolled, or is casted, and then they take out all the material in order to reach the final shape. So it's called buy-to-fly ratio. It's basically the ratio between the raw material and the final one that you're going to use. And in this case, for traditional manufacturing processes, this is like 25. So it means that you use 25 more material than is actually needed for the final part. With additive manufacturing, this can go from 25 to 3 to 10, because you basically deposit your material only when you actually need it. And in this case, we are doing a lot of research on it, and we are also trying to understand what are the differences in the material properties, because when you 3D print a part, all the material properties are completely different than the one that you traditionally obtained. So in order to do this, we need to cooperate with external parties, for instance, research centers in the UK or in Delft as well, with the University of Delft. And we need this in order to go to the final point, which is our target, to qualify parts. And titanium parts is one of those. And yeah, so it's, yes. At the moment, yes, we just finished actually with one of these commercial cases. It was like some parts for oil and gas. Actually, this is going to use as a actual product in out there in the market. So this was the first for us commercial product. The propeller, which is the one pellet is downstairs, is also a certified propeller, but it's not commercial in the sense that it's not being used by the company, actually by Damen, but it has been tested for 1 month, and it also went through the whole certification process. So in theory, if Damen would like to print this propeller and use it on their boats, they actually can, and they also have the certification. So, yeah. Questions? Nope.
Can you stay here for a sec? Ben. Come on, stay in the front for a bit. So, like, what do you think you're working towards? Like, what's the next big thing you're gonna deliver?
I think that the next big thing is gonna be like I would call it the push of a button state, or is like how Vincent, who is the manager director, he likes to call it. So when you have basically this cell, you just go there, you press a button, and the printing starts, and the whole machine does everything from the programming of your parts. So for instance, I put a propeller, like a 3D CAD of a propeller, and it creates all the printing files. It controls the process, it monitors the process, and then you have the final part printed. So this is going to be the next big thing, and this is what we are aiming to. And that's why we are developing all the software that in parallel is following also all our standards and our procedures.
Cool, man. And from there, like, directly link it to your brain, think of something, print it. Yeah, sounds good. Okay, all right. Let's take this opportunity to show one video, I think.
I have one video because can you go forward? Yes. So this is the team. Yes, forward. This is our dashboard. Go back. This is our dashboard where we basically monitor all our process parameters during printing, and this is live. So if you go forward, this is a really nice case. So this is one of the propellers that we printed. It is made of stainless steel. And one really cool stuff that we do is comparing the CAD file that we want to print with the actual part that we printed. So we basically overlap the CAD file that is obtained by scanning with the original part. In this case, we use the photogrammetry. And here is like the layer-by-layer project scan that we do. So basically, we print our part, and every layer, we can basically scan the whole layer to see if there is any deviation with the programmed one. And if you can start, this is, maybe you can see, but all these are basically the layers. So all the layers that are overlapped, and we can recreate like the part. And if you can play the video bottom right, this is the same propeller, and this is in action. So it's basically used. Yeah. No. Because you're using, no. Yeah, okay, no. This is basically, it was a video of the propeller we printed that was basically used in action and was tested for 1 month. And if you go at the end, there's a picture of almost at the end, like, yeah, next one. Next one, yes. So this is the toolpath. So basically it's what we program in our CAM software. And what we have on the right is basically a 3D printed part out of titanium. And usually how this part would be made is basically just a block, and they would take out all these spaces in order to reach that part. What we are doing here is just printing the material that is enough to reach the near-net shape. Yeah, so it's, that's it. Thank you, Frida. Yeah. 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 So it really depends what the customer or the partner we're working with is. He asked basically, how do we make sure that the part that you are printed complies to standards, right? And what kind of projects basically we are working on, if it's like research project or actual commercial project. So if you go forward, if you go to the next slide, yes. So I also put these slides on the research that we do. So basically, if it's a commercial project, what we do is that we do some testing prior to the printing of the part, and we make sure that the part that is basically loaded in a specific direction or with specific load cases can actually withstand it. And let's see, for example, this is the case for the titanium alloy, so we had to do some mechanical tests in order to, and also material microstructure investigation, in order to make sure that material has enough mechanical properties in order to withstand that. And also, for this, the commercial case that of 3 months ago, with the customer, we developed the standard. So that was different because there was also a BMV was involved for the certification. So they basically built with us the regulation and all the standards, and then the part at the end was certified. So also these parties are basically involved in all the process to make sure that we do things according to standards that they are developing, and we help also to develop them. And also, also as I said before, it really depends because, for instance, the propeller that I showed before, the one that I compared the final model with the CAD, with the scan, it was just a prototype, and they wanted to test if the shape could be reached, if the mechanical properties could be reached. So for them, it was just print it as best as you can do, and then we can deal with it, and maybe we can continue the project. So it's always really first a prototype, then it becomes a production process, a production project, and an actual commercial project.
All right, thank you very much, Benedetto. If you have any questions later on, feel free to ask him. And on that bombshell, dude, you did fantastically with it, like from the top of your mind, just doing a presentation without some slides in the background. I was very happy that we were able to show it, but beautiful, man. Also, the rest of the speakers, thank you very much for this lunch presentation. I also want to thank Nadia for organizing all this, so give her a warm round of applause. Together with our technical support team, who was working very hard today, Jurjen. And we tried to do this like every month. Up until now, we did like one every half year. So yeah, I think that's a good score. And let's do this again soon. Thank you very much.